The second word that we have for this week is xa'isla. So we start off with a C. It's not a regular C though, it is a glottalized C. So this is what they call an affricate sound, and I'll get into why it's called that in a few seconds here. But basically with a glottalized C, what this apostrophe tells us is that when we're making this sound, it's going to be more pronounced than it normally would be. So a regular C would make kind of a ts sound. So you start off with a T sound, followed by an S. Ts. Ts. And to make this sound, what we're doing is we're putting the tip of our tongue against our alveolar ridge. Ts. We're putting it there to begin with, and then we're releasing our tongue so it goes more into kind of a regular relaxed position when we're finished saying it. And it's called an affricate sound because of since what we're doing here is putting our tongue up against our alveolar ridge. So what we're doing is constricting airflow. When airflow gets constricted, it causes turbulence. That turbulence makes kind of more of a tss sound, or tss. So we have a constricted airflow to start with, and then once we let our tongue go, it's more of a regular kind of sound. So it comes out as tss. Basically the way we pronounce this, it's kind of a cross between ch and ts. It's somewhere in between those sounds. It's not quite ch, like in chicken, and it's not quite ts. It's somewhere in between those two sounds. If you listen very closely to a fluent speaker, you'll hear a sound that kind of comes in between those two sounds. But that's the first letter. T, t. The next letter is an I. I comes from towards the front of your mouth, close to the roof of your mouth, and it sounds like E. So if you put the first two letters together, you get t. You get a t sound, which is a little bit more pronounced than a regular t. And then E. T. When you put them together, you get a T sound. The next letter is M. M is what's called a labial sound. So labial refers to lips. So we have our lips here. What we're doing is we're closing our lips and blocking the sound. So the sound comes up from your throat. It can't go out this way since our lips are closed. So then it comes up through here. It resonates through our nasal cavity, so it's called a resonant sound. And then comes out through our nose and makes a sound. Next, we actually have two letters together. We have an A and a U. When an A and a U are used together in xa'isla, they create an O sound. So we start off with a glottalized C, making a ch sound. We have our I, and we have an M. So we have t'i mo, t'i mo. So the A and the U together create an O sound. Next we have another C with an apostrophe over top of it, and an A So A comes from around the bottom of your mouth towards the back, and it makes an ah sound. Zimo za. Now we'll do a linguistic breakdown of zimo za. So we have a C, has an apostrophe over top of it. We have an I, an M, A, U, another glottalized C, and an A. We also have a small slanted line over top of the first A. So the C, this apostrophe, tells us that this is a glottalized C. And another thing that we're going to do is separate the word into different syllables. So the regular C makes a t sound. The apostrophe tells us that it's going to be more pronounced. So instead of saying t, we're saying ch, ch, ch. This is a glottalized sound. So what we're doing is we're starting off by holding our breath and then releasing this sound. So we're putting more force into this sound than what we normally would. So that's what the apostrophe tells us to do. This I sounds like E. So that's the regular sound of an I in xa'isla. Makes an E sound. M is a regular M, like in English. The A and the U go together and they make an O sound. And we have over top of this A an accent mark. So it tells us out of these three syllables, we're going to hear more emphasis on this second syllable here. So it's going to be a higher tone than the other two syllables. So we're starting off with a lower tone with the first syllable, zi, mo, za, zi, mo, zi, mo. And then we have another glottalized C, making the t sound. And then we have the A, which is making kind of an ah sound. So you put them together, and you get zi, mo, za, zi, mo, za, zi, mo, za. So this word means place of snags or snag beach, and it's the traditional name for Kitimat village.